Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falcon.
A long time ago, feels like a long time ago now, you and I had a discussion about how they really need to stop making Terminator movies, right?
I remember it well.
So, as I happen to hear that James Cameron is going to take a break from doing blue people movies, and
Is he seriously?
he's talking about doing another Terminator, dude.
But they always say that.
I know, but he said it in an interview or some shit.
Oh, in an interview. That makes it legit. All right.
There's no money behind it yet, but everyone's all excited because apparently
That's because there's not
done
going to be
with
any money on the
Avatar.
other end of it either.
Yeah. But hey, it's radical new thinking about the series and the story. I just can't anymore, dude.
All right.
And I put myself through. I don't know why I do this to myself. You seem to have stopped doing this, and I have to learn from you. I keep watching these entries in these series that they're not made for me anymore, but I keep watching them hoping. I just watched the new Predator movie, I guess you could call it.
I have franchises that I keep watching even though I shouldn't, but there are some that I've been able to stop. Yeah.
Like that one, I don't know, there's something really wrong with me because they haven't made a good Predator movie since the second one. And even that's debatable.
I was going to say
circles.
that. Yeah, it's arguable.
Right. But it's been, I don't know, 25 years, and I just keep fucking watching them. And
I think I got everything I wanted out of Alien versus Predator for what that was. You know, like I wasn't going into that expecting like an Oscar.
But
you know, it was just like
I have some kind of weird psychic disconnect with the rest of the movie going public when it comes to this series, because it seems like every entry I hate is like universally loved, and then like
I think only the first movie is really universally loved.
Man, these I don't know, man. These new ones, dude. Like I know most of the shit you read online is bots, but holy Christ! Every time there's a post about this Badlands, this Predator Badlands, everything, that's the best entry in the series. This is an amazing film. And they were saying the same fucking thing about Prey when that came out too. And I sit over here and I feel like I'm like there might be something wrong with me, because Jesus Christ, dude, like I
didn't hate Prey, but I didn't particularly love it either.
Okay, well, I didn't fully hate it, but
yeah.
I liked, believe it or not, Alien versus Predator 2, Requiem.
Okay.
I kind of liked the premise of it. I liked the setup of it. There's things about it that I liked. There's a lot of things wrong with that movie, and it was way too dark, and that was what most people hated about it, because you just couldn't fucking see anything.
Yeah.
But since I was a little kid, I always wanted to see aliens on Earth, like in neighborhoods, you know, hunting people down and shit. And they gave you that. That was cool. It was like aliens fighting predators in the suburbs. Groovy. They made that Predators one fucking dog shit. Just such that one that Shane Black came back for.
Was that the one with the girl from Chuck that was all about like the autistic kids?
Yep. And there are so many things wrong. Like that is one of those movies that's in my bottom 10, and it might be. I can't watch it. I don't think
when
I
you
could
say
ever
bottom
watch
10,
it.
you mean like bottom 10 all movies, or
Yeah.
bottom 10 Predator? Because there's got to be enough movies for the Predator franchise.
We're getting there. No, bottom 10 all time is Predators, I think it's called. No, not Predators. Oh, I'm sorry. The Predator.
No, Predators was the one with Adrian Brody, right?
Adrian Brody acting like he should be in movies with his shirt off. Yeah, that was that one.
I think the one with the autistic kids was The Predator.
The Predator, yeah. Because we could take a minute and talk about the fucked up naming scheme of this whole series, but we're not going to do that. That's the one. That's the one. The one that shall not be named. But I gave it a benefit of doubt. Some years passed. When I heard the concept for Prey, I was psyched. Like I was into it, and it's and you can't say anything about that movie, because as soon as you say I hated that movie, they're like, oh, I guess it was because it was a female protagonist, right? It's like, no, man, no, and I'm not a racist either. I loved that setup. As soon as they're like, oh, it's Native Americans go backwards all the way back in the 1700s, and they're going to be fighting the Predator. I am down, sir. I am into that. Let's see what that is. And then it turned into like some fucking woman doing Avatar shit, sliding around on trees and throwing a tomahawk tied to a string and making magic poultices out of fucking leaves that make you be cold to thermal imaging. Or you go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the premise alone was a little far-fetched.
The setup,
you needed
I guess.
To get
the setup, rather, not
like. I mean, Schwarzenegger struggles against this thing like hundreds of years later with, you know, grenades and
training.
Like,
and training. Like,
I mean, there's just no chance that like, and I'm not going to say it has anything to do with her being a woman. There's no chance that like somebody in the, what was it, the 1600s, maybe the 1700s?
Yeah, I think it was early 1700s, I think, yeah.
Yeah, there's just no chance with that technology against a Predator. And I guess the Predator in that movie is kind of training. Like, I think he was on the younger side. But even still, I mean, you're talking about, like, he's got, like, cloaking technology and, like, you know, all
he
that.
Still had,
like,
plus he's 8 feet tall. You know, and fuck it, no. It just, they had to make too many weird... So they needed
to kind of, like, you know, stretch the limits of, like, you know, what was possible in that movie.
But it could have been
for it to work.
So much better. Like, it could have been, if, like, there were moments where they leaned into the horror aspect of it a little bit. And if they had gone further into it, it would have been amazing. But they decided they wanted to have a fight with a CGI bear, and you know, and she had to do all this other shit. It was just, it got so stupid.
I mean, I guess I knew what I was getting into or getting myself into when I saw Hulu original movie. You know, this is not something they were proud enough of to put in theaters, and you know, like,
well, again, when they announced it and they announced the setup of it, it was going to be in theaters. You didn't know it was going to be a Hulu original, and then like the dominoes started falling. You know, at first they also said it was going to be like a Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ thing, where the whole thing was going to be in the correct Native American language.
Wasn't it?
It was going to be subtitled. They did a version of it where it was dubbed. With the Native American, but
so you're saying like the actors spoke English and then like they did a dubbing, like you know, almost like a kung fu movie.
Exactly,
like,
right.
I thought it was the other way around.
I know, that's what I was expecting, and then no, they did it backwards. Like didn't
they use like AI or something to make it look like the mouths were moving to the correct?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe, yeah. I'm sorry.
I'll have to go back and look at that.
I didn't watch the correct language version, but I just read.
I did, because I always try to go with the original. If I knew that the English was the original language version, I would have gone with that. But
now, if I remember correctly, they did something that I really, really did like. If you're gonna end up having a movie that shouldn't be in English, be in English, they did what that Tom Cruise movie, Project Valkyrie, did. The one where he played the Nazi who was in on the plot to kill Hitler. Did you ever? Did you see that?
No, but I've heard great things.
It was actually very good. It's not. It's a taut thriller. It's not action packed, but it was very good. But what they did in the beginning of that, they had all the actors speaking German to each other, and they subtitled it, and then it slowly morphed into them speaking English. So you didn't need any explanation. You understood. Like, oh, yes, they're actually speaking German, but so I don't have to fucking read for 2 hours.
Yeah.
They're going to speak English for me. Thank you.
I've seen very clever things with that. Like, you know, where like things will, you know, they do like a trick with the camera, like it turns around and you get it. Like, all right. You know.
Right. Yeah. And just like some movies have done really, really good with the way they show text messaging as part of the story.
Yeah.
And some movies have not done it well. But they did that at the beginning of Prey, and I was like, all right, that's cool. But oh my God, that is the least offensive of the last shit that I've seen. You missed the animated one. The animated.
Yeah, I didn't even know there. I mean, I'm sure I knew at the time. But,
yeah, Predator, Killer of Killers, that came out earlier this year. It's like 4 vignettes in a movie format, and like the one was kind of cool. There was one set in feudal Japan, right? And that was neat. That was kind of neat. One was set like in Viking era with Vikings. One was set during World War II. That was the worst one. That was the worst fucking one with the American kid. That was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. But hey, it's a cartoon, right? Because we should have Predator cartoons.
How long ballpark was each vignette?
I don't know. The whole thing was an hour and a half long. Like, it was a feature-length film. But wait, then there was I'm sorry. I think there were 3 vignettes, and then there was the 4th, like, finale vignette.
Okay.
Long story short, since I'm going to spoil it for you because I know you're just dying to see it.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably watch the Badlands thing before I check out an animated one. So.
They set up this thing where apparently the Predators. And now I didn't read the comic books. I didn't read fucking anything. I watched the movies. I didn't care about a world building endeavor when it came to Predator, but apparently a lot of people really did. So, I mean, I read the one where he fought Batman. That was cool.
I read that one, and I read the one where he fought Archie.
He fought Archie?
Yeah.
Poor Art. Did Jughead get it? I bet he did. That fucker.
Go read the book. It's fucking awesome.
All right. That's got me. Okay. That's interesting. So they set up this thing where the Predators, they do these, it's almost like when they go on these hunts, it's like a trial for the prey instead of an actual hunt. And if a predator happens to be bested, like they are in every movie we've seen, the person or the prey that bested them is then kidnapped and then taken to the predator world to be like a gladiator.
What a prize.
Yeah, it was really great. And that's what the 4th vignette is in that. But the best part was the end, where they take the survivors of the big final gladiator battle, and you see that they've been put in cryostasis in a fucking tube, right? And we're in like an Indiana Jones style fucking warehouse full of cryo tubes. Yeah, and guess who we pan across? Just take a wild guess who's in a tube.
I'm going to go with Danny Glover.
And Dutch. And Arnold. Okay. Both of them.
All right.
Both of them. So we're to believe that after the events and after the Predator gave Danny Glover the fucking flintlock pistol and everything, and they took off in the spaceship, that at some point they just like showed back up to kidnap him, I guess. I don't know. It just fucking made me so angry. It made me so fucking angry. And oh my God, dude, this new one.
So wait, before we go on to the new one with the animated thing, the reason I asked ballpark how long is each vignette is because it takes like a full-length movie for me to accept that you wore one of these things down enough to a point where you were finally able to kill it, you know?
It's basically battles, dude. It's a light bit of setup and then a fight.
Yeah, but I don't believe that like a human being can best one of these things in like one fight, unless you get unbelievably lucky and something stupid happens and it blows up. You know, I don't know.
They just kind of pick and choose and then invent weapons for the Predator to have at any given point in time. Like there's no uniformity to it. So fortunately, the samurai guys with the katanas, they were totally matched up. I mean, they had to get creative. That one was good. Like, I give it that. That one was really neat. I actually would have liked to have seen a fucking movie about that. But then the World War II one, dude, it was a dogfight story. The Predator was in a little fucking spaceship for that one. Dog fighting World War II fighters during the war. And
works better with Godzilla.
Yes, much better. Much better. But, hey, man, you know, at least there were human beings in this one that you could relate to, and they all took place on Earth, which I'm now, except for the final one, the gladiator shit, which I'm now grateful for, because this new movie, the entire thing takes place on, I think, the Predator home world. I don't even fucking know or care, but not Earth. So
we're back to Predators then.
Basically, the only human sort of is a cyborg from apparently the Alien universe. There's 2 of them, played by the same actress. And that's it. Everything else is a CG creature. It was like watching another cartoon, but with shitty animation. And, you know, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, the Predator head from the original, from all the other ones, it's not shaped like a human head, right?
Right.
The creatures, the predators in this, when they have their like mandibles closed, it's the profile of a human jaw now. And the head is all small and shit, and it's basically the shape of a fucking human head, but with a crab pussy mouth thing.
So are we to believe that this takes place before? Like, no, it has to be after, because you said Dutch. No, that was the animated. I'm already turned around here.
So this is apparently...
So is this before they evolve into what we know them to be, or did they evolve from what we know them to be into this?
This all takes place like sometime around when Alien is set. So the future from now, definitely the future from the original in Dutch.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the most future Predator thing that's ever been made. So this is like now.
Okay.
They speak a lot through the whole movie. They talk to each other in a like what sounds like a fake ass Klingon language.
I feel like we've heard them talk before.
We've heard them like mimic human voices and shit, but they've never actually like straight up talked. I don't think. They might have in that awful one that I don't mention, but I blocked a lot of that one out. But the point is, this entire movie, other than the quips from the cyborg, is just Klingon babble back and forth and Marvel cartoon fights with giant creatures. And I'm surprised a big hole didn't open up in the sky to swallow everybody, and there wasn't a Tesseract floating around. Like it. Even the very ending was like a Marvel movie joke.
Well, they do that a lot with the Alien and Predator movies. Like, it always ends in some kind of stupid way to like say like, oh, we're going to set up the next one. And then I don't know if it rarely does.
I'm talking about how the antagonist, the Predator, like old man Predator antagonist, is like in mid-sentence and just gets chomped by a giant monster.
Okay.
From behind, just laying on the ground, and then that's the end of the fucking movie.
I mean, we're talking about a franchise here that has strayed so drastically from what it originally was.
I think that's what I'm getting to. Yeah, I think
like,
that's really what pisses me off about it. Yeah, because it's so completely not where it started. My God.
In theory, when we talk about the Predator, what I liked about that in theory was that they found a way to try to say, like, the message of the film being that, like, the autistic kids had, like, quote, superpowers, and that was the evolution of humankind. I thought that was cool. Like, if you're maybe autistic, or you have somebody in your family who is, like, you know, to kind of give you, like, you know, that superhero role or whatever. And, like, not every movie needs to be, like, for me to watch, you know, and I'm okay with that. I thought that was very laudable what they were doing there.
That wasn't the part of the movie I didn't like. I was fine with that.
Correct.
It was all the rest of it, including all of the goddamn dialogue. And, and anyone with Tourette syndrome should be really upset at that movie. Autistic or not.
Yeah.
Because Thomas Jane set the Tourette's community back by about like 3 or 4 decades with that fucking performance. Jesus Christ.
But I just feel almost like Terminator, this is a franchise that really didn't need sequels. Like, obviously it did, in the sense that, like, this was the kind of thing where money could be made and they were going to make it. But, like, if somebody was to ask me which Predator movies should I watch, I would just tell them, watch the first one and be done.
Yeah, the sequels never worked for decades.
Yeah.
They never were. They weren't even popular with fans, let alone critics. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they kept making them and critics kept bashing them, but people kept seeing them. No, they fucking didn't. They made the second one and everyone's like, where's Arnold? And then they just stopped for, God, how many fucking years? And then the next time a Predator showed up on the big screen was Alien versus Predator. After that,
I mean, with that, at least, like, you're talking about mindless entertainment. You know, if you were really a big fan of Predator and Alien, and you really wanted to see those two get down, I mean, there was a lot of building to that in the comic books and the video games and everything before that came out. Then I would say, like, yeah, go ahead. Don't keep your expectations, like, pretty close to the floor. But, if you're just talking about mindless entertainment, you might have some fun with it. But at the end of the day, part one and you're done.
Yeah, and AVP, it was almost like they can't screw this up. Like as long as they get predators that look like predators and aliens that look like aliens fighting, this is going to be a cool movie. And we were shocked that they did figure out a fucking way to screw it up.
Yeah.
I was psyched for that too. And that was during that era where it's like, oh, well, they're pulling out all the fucking stops. We got Freddy fighting Jason. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go, man. What are they going to do? Set it in a pyramid in the middle of Antarctica? That would be ridiculous, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's also some kind of giant like Hellraiser puzzle box too.
Part of the problem with Alien versus Predator is that you can't just have it be the alien and the Predator fighting each other. Like there has to be some kind of human component to carry the movie, right? Like, and that's the part of it that nobody wants. Like I think people just want like, those videos. I don't even remember who was making them. That thing where like the Predator fought Batman on YouTube, and then there was one where like Superman fought Darth Vader and all that.
Yep.
And it was like that's the kind of thing people were looking for. They just want like a 10-minute, 15-minute like pretend fight between these two things, and then you're good. You don't need like a whole 2-hour movie with this,
with like a story, a pesky plot, and fucking dialogue. Well, that's where they landed with the new one with Badlands. That's where they fucking landed. That's what this is. They realized it and they're like, oh fuck it. Well, you're right, because look how successful these Godzilla movies are, then these King Kong movies, and that's all they are. They're just CG monsters fighting each other.
Yeah, and they do try to like, there is a human element to it. I don't want it to sound like I'm crapping on -1 because -1 was amazing.
I saw it. I liked it. Yeah.
But
there's been a lot
more.
And
then after that, we went back to like that Godzilla versus Kong crap, and I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like this is a gigantic leap backwards.
100%. Absolutely.
We did something serious, and then we're back to like the gorilla fighting the lizard again. It's like
people seem to dig it, man. But no one was ever able to recapture the original. This not the essence or whatever. The original Predator relied on surprise to a degree. It relied on the fact that everyone thought this was an action movie, and it turned out to be a sci-fi / horror movie that started like halfway through the flick. Right, and no one expected you to cast this big cast of all tough guys, and almost all of them get fucking wasted, except Arnold.
Yeah,
and you also didn't expect that kind of creature because that was a wild fucking creature, and also this was the era of E.T. and you didn't. It was not expected at the time, and I think that's part of why none of the sequels really worked. Because they couldn't do that again, because obviously the cat was already out of the bag. So it's just going to become some variation on the themes of the first one with new weapons. And, and that could carry for, if they had gotten Arnold back for the sequel, it could have been good. I don't know what kind of story it would have been. I never read a script. That's why I say could. It could have been good. But I think we're much better off that we got Terminator 2, which probably shouldn't have been made, but was so good that it's okay. Yeah. Because wasn't that the Sophie's Choice that he had to make? Didn't he have to choose whether to do?
I didn't hear about that actually. I never heard anything about him with Predator 2.
I remember reading that he didn't do Predator 2 because it was a conflict, and then I think it was Terminator 2 that was the conflict.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, duh, right? Like, that's an easy choice.
I mean, like you said, like there really is only one great Predator story, and I don't mean that in the sense that there was like one great Predator movie. I mean like
that's the story.
How much can you really do with this? Like you have a monster that surprises these things. The technology is way more than we can handle. It takes us like half the movie to like injure the thing and figure out that we can, and then you get to a point where you wear it down and kill it. It's like the Alien movies. There's only one real alien plot. Like, we explore some stupid planet, we see some cod, we're like, hey, what's this? We stick our head over the thing, And that, you can write the rest of the movie from there.
I would argue
never needed more alien movies.
Right. I would argue the only reason to go beyond that is you have the two options of one alien and a bunch of people, or many aliens and a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And you got that with those first two movies.
Yep.
And again, James Cameron magic, I think.
Sure.
But yeah, that's it, man. Like the Predator, the first Predator works because of that story. I never, and again, it's one of those instances where the things left up to the imagination by that story are the things you really should never explain because it fucking ruins it.
Yeah.
And there were so many things hinted at by just the existence of that creature in that movie that we all thought about it for years. I know we did. If anyone who watched it as a kid and watched it growing up, you thought about it. You're like, what other fucking weapons do you think they have? What do you think the ship looked like? If there's one, that means there's a whole planet of these fucking people. And it's like, what's their society like? And
society.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think like, well, is he on safari? Is he like, and I know this has been brought up humorously, but like, is he a dentist? Like, is he the equivalent of a dentist on his homeworld that goes off in safari in different planets? Like, how does it all work? And then, of course, some jerk-offs who make comic books, they had the same thoughts, and they made a bunch of comic books explaining that shit away. And that's fine, because it's in comics. And it's like, willingly.
Yeah, like it almost doesn't count. You know?
Yeah. But now they explained it all to fucking death until we're now at the point where the Predator is the protagonist. And
I mean, that was inevitable. I'm surprised that didn't happen sooner. I just watched Megan 2.0. Did you see that one?
I did not, but I know what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they had to do the genre switch to make that work. Like, the only way you follow up and write a different story than the first one is if Megan becomes kind of the good guy against an even bigger AI robot. And it's just like,
well, hey, man,
right,
they did this. They're doing this with Alien, too. They're doing this with Alien, the show that you didn't know existed until recently, Alien Earth. Oh man,
So the aliens are the good guys now?
It's complicated. I'm trying to remember where it's set in the timeline. I think
it's the way future versus the way future.
No,
I guess the Prometheus movies took place like way in the past. So
I think this is between the original Alien and the second one. I think that while it's either there or it's while Ripley's floating around in space after Aliens. I can't remember which, but it's somewhere in there. Oh no, wait, it's earlier because they're like prototype cyborgs and shit. I don't know. Who gives a shit? It gave them an excuse to make things look like they did in the original Alien and in the sequel. Right, which was kind of nice. I enjoyed the series, but by the end of it, the characters you're invested in is a group of, again, cyborgs who have had the human consciousness of dying children imprinted upon them in an effort to like save their lives. Right, it's this new technology, so you've got a bunch of adult cyborg bodies inhabited by children. And they act like children to different degrees. And one of them can communicate with the aliens, like with their little chitter language, which is apparently a fucking language. And for some unexplained reason, she can just like understand it. So by the end, you have this group with their spunky alien companions who now just listen to this chick and will do whatever she says, like attack people, and then she can just call them off. They're like dogs now, and that's that. And the evil billionaire is the bad guy and his minions, including Timothy Olyphant and a couple other people. That's the setup. That's who we're having faith in. Like they're like, fuck people. We don't need people. We're beyond people. We're gonna make AI. The AI is the hero. So yeah, the creature that scared people for decades is now reduced to like a sick'em boy kind of pet. And they ended the first season on a cliffhanger. Believe it or not, it's just fucking ridiculous. It pissed me off. That doesn't
surprise me. It's just what you do.
I know. I was into it, man. It was one of those shows where like The first 4 episodes were really fucking solid. And then every episode after that is like a few more conceits. It's like, all right, well, that was an interesting choice. We'll see where it goes. And then you say that like 5 times and you're like, fuck, this is starting to suck by the end. It's like one too many twists, one too many revelations. And then you realize they can't end this story. And then it stops. It's like if the only way they can end this by the end of this episode is if everyone fucking dies, and it didn't happen. So I'm so lackluster, man. And I'd hate to say it, but I think it's just Disney, dude. It's just Disney doing its Disney thing and just sucking the fucking juice out of all of it.
I was surprised when they announced that they were going to make Prey. Because I was like, I don't understand what Disney wants making a Predator film. You know, I guess you can't even say money because it's a Hulu original. Yeah. But like, you know, it was just, why? You know, because of all the companies that I want making a Predator film, Disney is, you know, last on my list.
Well, clearly they're changing it. And they're gearing it toward younger people, like as in kids. So it's not for the audience of the original. It's not for the nostalgia people. I just didn't know young people gave a shit about Predator.
Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just this is them saying, "Hey, look, we've got an original movie for you to watch. Check it out. Give it a chance. Doesn't matter whether or not you've seen the original thing." You know,
yeah, because I truly cannot imagine how old the original movie looks to kids today. I can't
actually. I don't. I feel like it would pretty much hold up because
I don't know. You know, that's what I'm saying.
It's not super reliant on, you know, digital effects or anything like that. Like, you know,
I mean, a few
there's
effects
that one
might look
sequence,
a little cheesy. But.
Yeah, like there's the thing where the Predator is coming at them while it's cloaked, and you see like the jungle kind of mirrored in it.
The fuzzy outline, weird.
Yeah,
effect
that looked a little awkward, but you could make the argument that it's not truly invisible. It's some kind of technology that would not be perfect. Right. So I could make that argument.
The sparky electricity effect when it comes out of the water, you would never see that today. But I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know what the viewing path for kids is. Like, are they seeing Prey and that's enough for them? Like, they don't need any more explanation. They don't need to watch the older stuff. Maybe. I don't know. They keep making money off them. They keep making them.
I don't know that they are making money off of them because, like I said, I mean, I guess theoretically, in an indirect way, when you have a movie on a streaming service that's original to that streaming service, you're making your money on the subscriptions. But is it fair to say that, like, if I had my Hulu subscription and then Prey comes out and I didn't cancel my subscription, did they make money off of Prey, or is it just I was going to keep subscribed anyway, and you know, Prey happened to come out? You know,
yeah, it's not that direct of a correlation anymore. That's some old thinking. But okay, I guess I just keep getting confused because I keep seeing these tomato meter scores that are through the fucking roof, and it seems like everybody for. Well, okay. I mean, the way that the Rotten Tomatoes score works is not like, okay, when a movie has 99%, it's not saying it's a 99 out of 100 movie. Right. It's saying 99 out of 100, you know, critics said it was all right. You know, like said it was like good. So like there's a lot of gray area between the critics said it was good and the critics said it was amazing, you know, and that's the public too, right?
All right. You know, well, there's different scores, right? There's the critic score and there's the people score.
Right. Which one is the tomato, and which one is the splat thing? God, I fucking hate that this is our world. The splat means
it sucked. Like if it was rotten, and whereas the tomato is okay. And I think the people score is the popcorn. And I think the bad people score might be the popcorn tipped over. I can't remember, but
again, it's also Disney. Like they can buy whatever they want. Like, if they want this movie to have a high fucking tomato meter score, it's going to have a high tomato meter score. You can't tell me otherwise.
I'd love to see some kind of expose on that.
Yeah, right. You'll be, they'll find you with a fucking Mickey Mouse popsicle sticking in your back.
Yeah.
Dead in a pool.
I don't know if you ever saw, this film is not yet rated. Did you see that?
I mean, maybe. What was it?
Check that out for a future episode of this show. I'd love to talk about that. That was like the biggest expose I ever saw on the movie industry, because what they were talking about was the corruption in the MPA and how they weaponized the NC-17 rating.
Oh, that's interesting.
And how major studios were able to, or probably still are able to, essentially buy their way to whatever rating they want. You know,
it makes sense. Wow, they got a lot of
holy fucking shit. You know, like, you don't think you're gonna care, and then you walk out of that and you're like, this is
holy
disgusting.
Shit. They got everybody in here, man. Matt Stone, John Waters, Kevin Smith.
Oh my God. The South Park people have like all kinds of things to say about it.
I bet they do.
Because
from Team America, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk about this. Team America. There's one scene in particular. I don't even have to tell you what it is. You know,
the puppet
it's the sex
right?
scene with the puppets, right? Yeah. So they said that they wrote that scene just to give the MPA something to piss on, like,
right, like a target, they were like, right? Yeah,
this is not even like a good sequence. Lamb. Yes, this is not something we legitimately want in the film. We just got to give them something that they can go after and be like, all right, cut this down, and then we'll do it, and it'll be fine.
It's the horror movie tactic. Yeah. This murder scene is 12 minutes long, right? Sure.
Yes. So they were saying, like, you know, they didn't really go after it in the way they thought they would, so they just left it. You know, because now we're at Paramount or whatever it was. Whereas when they were making their independent films like Orgasmo and all of that, like, they were ripped to shreds over things that were not even nearly as, you know, big.
Isn't that funny? So, Isn't that funny? Yeah.
But check that out. That's a great film to discuss, you know.
All right. I'm into it. That's the kind of, I love that shit. I love that kind of thing. But yeah, the MPA is just fucking horse shit. And
for sure.
So many stories of really good movies getting shit canned and barely getting released because of a fucking NC-17 or an R rating.
Yeah.
And movies that got torn up for no reason, you know? And God, there's a movie called Nighthawks. It's an old Stallone movie. Stallone and Billy D. Williams. And this is pre-Rambo. So this was like, I think in 1980 this came out. So this was like really at the crossover from 70s to 80s action movies, from like, you know, the French Connection type of action movie to what action movies became. And it really does live in that middle ground. It looks kind of like a 70s movie, right? But it's about terrorists coming from Europe to New York. It's kind of like a Day of the Jackal type of story. But it got really fucking hammered by the MPAA for violence. And because it was also right when they were starting to cut the shit out of horror movies too, and getting all fired up about violence on the screen. And
70s wasn't going to last forever.
Yeah. And it was a little too high profile. And also, after they ended up having to cut like some of the most important scenes, and ended up having to chop it down for time, because it was like a 2-hour run movie, and the studio was like, look, no one's going to be into this, because nobody, from the screenings we've done, nobody believes that terrorists can attack New York City. And that's just not a problem we have in America, and people aren't into it. So you have to make this a tight runtime, like action-y movie instead. And it just turned into a pile of shit. Like, you can see the vestiges of what might have been a good movie in there, but because of how it got all chopped up and put back together, it's just shit. And of course, back then, all that footage is gone. You know, you can't reassemble it. But that story is so common, and much better movies have been fucking either shelved or ruined because of those fuckers. It's really depressing in this day and age with how much media there is out there, that we still have them. You know, that they're still a factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
I think the MPA is literally useless.
At this point, yeah. When any streamer can make whatever content they want and throw it to the public with no one.
Right.
Like, no one, they have no barrier. Like, who tells them what to do? Does anyone?
And even from like the studio, like in theater, like the theatrical experience, I would trust a movie to stick its own rating on something and say like, listen, we believe that this movie is made for this audience, you know, like
I agree.
whether it's PG-13 or R or whatever, you know, maybe if you're taking somebody who's like a 14-year-old or a 12-year-old to a PG-13 movie, maybe you as a parent should just do like 10 minutes of research online and just see if this aligns with like whatever. But for the most part, we're giving you this as like a ballpark sort of like whatever, and then just go from there. There's no reason for censorship.
And also, let's not pretend that it's still the fucking 90s over here. We live in a day and age where you can go look up any fucking movie on your phone, and you can get an entire list of everything that happens in it. Yeah. Nudity, gore, violence. Yeah. It's all there. Even on IMDb, they have little fucking bars. Yeah. You know, like
I don't remember what it's called. It's like on Vudu or Fandango at home now. They call it "What Parents Need to Know."
Yeah,
and basically every movie I show my kid, I read that first.
Right.
You know, even the stuff I've seen before, because you know, there's stuff that like I don't think of that big of a deal in my head. I'm just like, let me just take a quick look before we watch
speaking
this.
Of that, I've mentioned this site before. Does the dog die? Right.
Yes.
That they tell you about that, but there's also like a litany of trigger warnings because and it's all like user created, and it's like abandonment, like all this like minor shit that you would never even. There is no reason for the MPAA at all. Yes, I think movie studios and streamers should. What do they have to gain from mislabeling a movie? Like, they'll get pissed off parents posting on social media if they make a movie and label it for kids when it's not supposed to be for kids,
right?
And vice
people
versa.
Just won't go.
Yeah, like what? There is no benefit to them anymore for doing that, if there ever was. Like, there's that weird little gray line between PG-13 and R, right? But again,
and PG to PG-13. I mean, there's a gray line between every rating. Like, even G to PG. Like, you wouldn't think about it, but
the reason the lines are gray is because every kid is different, and every parent allows different things, and that's why now, you can just look up what the fuck's in it and make a decision.
Yeah,
like you're right. There's no. I never really thought of it that way, but it's absurd, and it gets more absurd every day. I think at the time
it was about avoiding censorship. Like, I think they were worried about government censorship, and they said, "Listen, we'll self-regulate this."
Well, I think
in practice, what they did was give themselves censorship.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's not like, who is the MPAA? Who the fuck knows?
That's a huge part of that movie. Like, you don't know.
It's like the NCAA in college sports. Like, who the fuck are they? Does anyone know?
I think they said it was like a group of, quote, the average parents, or like the average moms.
Mean?
Yeah, like, and it's just like, okay, and I get why parents ought to have like a pretty significant voice in this, but I don't necessarily think that they all need to be parents, and I don't necessarily think that parents need to be able to like censor every movie that comes out, regardless of what age group it's made for, Also,
with the dissemination of everything today, the idea that you're going to shelter and protect children with a rating is a joke.
Yeah.
It's fucking absurd, and I don't think, maybe on the surface that's what it was about, but I don't think it's ever been about that, ever.
Yeah.
I think it's always been about studios wanting to control the tone of cinema, and the movies that were made in the 70s before the MPA came around were fucking wild. Like, the shit that they would make and put in theaters, like, there was a spectrum of budgets, but holy shit, man! Like, some of the shit they got away with was pretty impressive, and I don't think studios became the driver. They weren't the drivers anymore, and that independent, like, weird, quirky shit that could come to the surface of pop culture and get weirdly, hugely popular out of nowhere. Like, they couldn't control that shit anymore. Like, they still had the big hits that Paramount came out with, but one of those was Rosemary's Baby.
Fantastic film.
I love it, but it probably was something that really freaked studios out, because that's not a movie that should have been a huge hit on paper. And then all of a sudden, you get
especially
this,
at the time.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, you get this rating system, and I don't know, man. Maybe PG-13 when that was introduced, that was when it started getting shady. I don't know.
PG-13 was introduced in the 80s because
right.
Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom were considered like not exactly PG, but not exactly R.
Right. Sure. Whatever, man. It'll probably be gone soon anyway.
PG-13?
The whole thing.
Oh, the rating system? No, you'll always have it. But I just don't think it needs to be
a voluntary thing that studios just start doing, you know?
Because I can absolutely 100% see the benefit in giving me like a ballpark idea of like, you know, where this falls on the spectrum of should I let my kids see it? You know, like even if I have to dig in further and do the research, it's nice to know, like, if you say this is an R, you know, like, I can approach this with, like, you're really going to have to sell me on, like, this is okay for my 8-year-old to see. You know, whereas, like, PG-13, I'm like, all right, like, you know, I come at that with a different angle.
Yeah, and like, that R rating, man, is a pretty big spectrum in and of itself, you know? Yeah. Like, you can have a Kevin Smith movie that's rated R, and then, you know, Human Centipede is rated R. I
don't know. I think every Kevin Smith movie hard earns its R. You know, just not for the same reasons that the Human Centipede earns its R.
It depends on what you care about as a parent. You know,
I don't think there are many things in a Kevin Smith movie that like you could care about as a parent that aren't there. You know, like
I guess so.
There's not a lot of like actual fucking going on, but like they certainly like will talk about it to no end. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes describing it in like awful detail, sometimes with donkeys. You know?
Sometimes with donkeys. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not quite as damaging as some of the things you might see in a hardcore horror movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? My dad had weird rules for that kind of thing. Like, he was super sensitive about, like, no fucking, nothing with nudity in it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But the action movies with shit blowing up was always fine, you know? And other parents are not the other way around, but, you know, the violence is the big concern for them. And others don't give a shit about anything, but other parents are very concerned about drug use. Maybe they're in recovery. I can understand that. You know, there's all kinds of different reasons and concerns, but that's why I guess that's where it's going to end up. It's going to be like, this movie was made by Paramount Plus or Amazon, and here's Amazon's list of shucking shit that could be objectionable that's in it, you know, and they don't want to catch shit from parents, so they'll be responsible with their list.
Yeah, I think what the streamers need is a better way to lock out content. Like
for parents?
Yeah, because, all right, let's just say I were to lock my kid's account and, you know, I say, like, all right, you can't watch anything that's, you know, over a PG-13 rating.
Uh-huh.
All she then has to do is go over to my profile, you know, and like there's everything, you know.
There's no password like type of thing, or
I guess you could do something like that, but do I want to put in a password every time I'm going to watch like Netflix? No. So I don't know. Like, there's got to be a better system for that, you know, and there isn't. So I guess what you said, like if I wanted to lock down my account with a password, I could do that.
Well, hey man, you know, just use your phone as your remote, and then they could scan your face. You know, to let you in. That's way easier, right?
Sure.
Just no, everything should be on disc, and you should lock it in a cabinet, like liquor.
It'd be like the old alcohol. Yeah.
And Lorraine will swipe it from her mom's liquor cabinet.
Exactly. Don't be such a square.
It's time for a rewatch of that. I think it's been long enough.
Absolutely. I mean, we're recording this late December. You know, regardless of when this comes out, this is still the anniversary. So
it's true. It still counts. And I gotta give it a watch like every 4 months or so. One of them, I have to watch.
4 months. Wow.
Yeah.
I actually only wind up watching those movies like once every like 4 or 5 years or so. Like
really,
it becomes like, and they are my favorite, like Apex, you know, the
I would have thought
and the Omega of everything I'm a fan of. But I don't want to wear it out of its welcome. Like the big movies in my life are special now. And
I understand.
I watch them like, you know, in a way that Like I try to make them special in the viewings that I watch them for. So like this time around, everything is like when I'm introducing it to my kid, that's what's making it special.
I gotcha. Okay.
You know, so like, but like prior to this, like, you know, I might have done it like a few years ago and like made some kind of like themed dish or drink to go along with it or something. But like, or, you know, like this is now the Blu-ray coming out and I'll check that out. This is now the 4K Blu-ray coming out, you know, like, so, you know, you're making a big deal out of it rather than just it being like in the background while I'm messing around on my phone. You know? I
started doing that naturally, like without even thinking about it. Like with the Rambo movies, I guess, first. I consciously was like, yeah, I've seen these so many times. I really don't want to start hating them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want them to get that played out. So, yeah, if you do take like a 2-year break, it's still good. And, you know, you come at it with maybe not fresh eyes, but at least some time has passed. It's worth rewatching again, you know, from your current perspective.
Yeah.
But there's some movies that I just like so much that I don't mind. Like Back to the Future is one of those movies. But I've gotten more sparing with it. I used to watch it like all the time. I would just throw it on, you know, because it's Back to the Future.
Sure.
But yeah, I've gotten way more sparing with it, and I've started to just like watch one of the trilogy. You know, I won't. I used to like watch it, especially the first and second one. I'd watch them back to back all the time, and I try not to do that as much anymore unless it's like a reason. Like in 2015, I definitely did.
Yeah, sure.
Which is a goddamn decade ago already.
Yeah, right.
Jesus. But yeah, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it specifically, but I like the third one.
I love it.
Okay, I know a lot of Back to the Future fans aren't crazy about it, but I grew up with it. It was the first one I really remember that came out in theaters when I was old enough to care.
Yeah.
I remember the commercials for it on TV. You know what I mean? And I was excited about it coming out. When did the second one come out? When was that?
89.
89. Yeah, we were pretty little, you know?
Yeah.
But early 90s, I remember the early 90s, you know? And fuck, man, that was so much fun.
I mean, to be fair, they came out like 6 months apart from each other. So, you know, if you remember one, you should be able to remember the other. But
I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the marketing campaign was different or something, or the Happy Meal. I remember the Happy Meal or something.
I think where people dislike Back to the Future 3 is that it's the second part of that movie. Like 2 and 3 were written to be one big film.
And they were filmed together, right? Like back to back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was filmed on one budget. You know, they made it and then they cut it in half. And so if Back to the Future 2 is the movie where we're setting everything up, like if you remember the first film, like the first half an hour of the film is just we're setting up this, we're setting up this, we're setting up this. And then the rest of the movie is paying off the setups from the first part of that film.
Sure.
Back to the Future 2 and 3 are that. Like 2 is just entirely set up and 3 is just entirely payoff. But at the same time, you know, like people crap on 2 because there's a lot of plot holes because theoretically they're not getting paid off until 3. And then 3 gets a lot of crap because it's just resolving everything, you know? George Lucas once said of trilogy writing that the first one is where, you know, you fall in love with your characters. The second one is where you take those characters that you really love and you throw them in a black hole that they can never get out of.
Right.
And then the third one is just we get them out of the black hole. And if that's what 3 is, then, you know, I can see why people like Return of the Jedi and Back to the Future 3 less, you know, because it's just, you know, we're resolving the problem now, you know.
Okay. Yeah. I never really thought of it that way.
At the point where Back to the Future 3 comes out, the Western genre is really played out. You know,
it was not in a good place. Yeah.
I mean, I never really looked at it as a Western, as odd as that is, because it's unapologetically a Western. But like at the same time, like I'm like, but it's not it's like a sci-fi Western, you know?
It's more like an homage to Westerns, you know, I would say. Because it's got all the cliches. Like that's the whole point. It's packed with
not
every
just cliches,
Western cliche.
but like straight up references.
Yeah.
Like,
the actors even, some of them.
One thing that I read somewhere was that Back to the Future 3, I mean, in the same way that like 1 and 2 are not legitimately indicative of the time periods that they're in, Back to the Future 3 is not like a legit, this is what the Old West in America was like.
No.
They drive directly into a movie screen. Like,
yeah, they did that. Yeah, they've done it with the first one. Like, that was, how many 50s things could they fucking cram into that town square in Hill Valley? You know,
like I think
it was just like a
part of the reason that Reagan
commercial.
loved that movie so much was that it was not the 1950s. It was that idealized, like,
Norman Rockwell 50s, man, for sure, absolutely. With Davy Crockett playing in the fucking record store, and there's no racial problems, and there's no fucking war, even though people are dying in Korea in 1955. It's that glossed Americana nostalgia, but that's not what that movie's about, so it didn't have to be, right? You know, and just like the second one, like the future is this, you know, it's jammed packed with day of tomorrow technology, like you know, flying cars, holograms, you know, it's all there.
They wanted to be the anti-Blade Runner, like, you know, we're gonna make a more optimistic future, but
a future that's an extension of what's popular right now. And I don't know, man. Back to the Future for me exists in this weird place between comedies and sci-fi. It's just kind of on its own, and I forgave it everything. I don't know. I have a real hard time criticizing those movies because they just, for what they are.
One note.
One note,
one thing that bothers me,
go ahead,
and it's always bothered me, is the plan to rape his mom, like, you know, like to sexually assault his mom.
Like it could have been real well
anything. Like if you read the children's versions of those movies, like the books.
Wait, you've told me about the novelization. It's fucking wild, but there's a children's book version.
Oh, for sure. You know, they've got like those golden. First of all, there are modern children's books of this, but there were children's books at the time as well.
Okay. All right.
And they all kind of yada 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 over the plan to sexually assault his mom because it's just not necessary to the plot of the film. Like, if you think about it, Marty's plan could have been, I'm gonna tell her she's dumb and walk out of the car in a storm, and she's going to be so upset that she's going to, you know,
George
cry,
just had to console her. He didn't have to physically save her from an assault. Like, that's
like
what
Marty's plan didn't even have to be something that would have worked, is what I'm saying. Like, let's just say, like, Lorraine is portrayed as a sexual predator in that movie, and there's nothing Marty could have done that would have turned her off. So, like, let's just say the plan is, I'm going to say, oh, you silly goose, I don't like you. She would have been like, well, I don't care, and jumped on top of him.
Right.
But no matter what happens, Biff ends up in the car. And no matter what happens, George opens the door and there's Biff. So Marty's plan does not have to be, I'm going to sexually assault
from the storytelling part of
from the storytelling perspective.
Yeah.
Because it can be literally anything, and
Marty
Biff still gets in the car.
Marty doesn't know Biff's going to be there, so he has to come up with something that he thinks is at least going to change Lorraine's mind about him.
Right. And did it have to be that? I don't know. Yeah, that's the only thing.
He could have been like, have you heard the great news about white supremacy, Lorraine? Like, there's a lot of things, a lot of routes he could have gone to make her turn sour. I mean, it's the 50s, for Christ's sake. You know, like, there's a lot of things he could have done. But that part. And the other thing that always bothers me is in part 3, why Marty's great-great-grandparents are just versions of him and Lorraine. Not even George. It's versions of him and Lorraine. That never made any fucking sense to me, except I
only understand from the perspective of, like, they wanted to get Leah Thompson,
right. They wanted to get Leah Thompson. They wanted to dress Marty. They wanted to dress Michael J. Fox up as another character again because it worked in the second one.
Had Crispin Glover come back for the sequels, that would have 100% been Crispin Glover.
But that would have been weird too, because they're not, I don't know, there's no reason for his great-great-grandparents to look like Crispin. It's got to look like one side of the family or the other, for fuck's sake. Right. It's got to be McFly gene. There shouldn't have been a Leah Thompson, is what it really shouldn't have been. Like, it would have made more sense if his great-grandfather looked like him. and you could say, it's from the McFly side, you know?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so like if you were going to try to make more sense of it, I think Bob Gale said that, like, you know, the McFly, his explanation was that the McFly men are just attracted to people that look like Leah Thompson.
I was just going to say, is that it? Just the McFly men have a penchant for Leah Thompson-esque women, and that's okay, all right. And then a few ended up in California. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, they could have had Elizabeth Shue play, what's her name?
That would have been funny. Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
But she couldn't do an Irish
accent. It's not like Elizabeth. Yeah, probably. It's not like Elizabeth Shue was like a big part of that movie. You know, like she was just there to fill in Claudia Wells' shoes for like the 5 minutes that they needed the Jennifer
character. And she's
character.
at the very, very end of the third one. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he comes, he sits on the bench in his cowboy suit, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, like when people would praise Elizabeth Shue for, you know, like her work in that movie or those movies, she would say, like, you know, really, I wasn't really in it, you know, like I was, but I wasn't, you know, like
I could understand that from her perspective. Like, and even the scene she was in, she would just kind of sitting there looking confused because she was most of the time.
They literally, like, I'm not going to say date rape her, you know, like the sleep-induced algorithm.
They roofied the shit out of her and left her in a fucking alley. Yeah.
So she spends most of the thing passed out, you know, I don't know.
Lights on.
Yeah.
She does a great bit of acting, though, during that sequence. When she was
great for what they needed her to do. You know,
you got to commit to something like that because that's a goofy thing to have to act through. And I always thought she was hilarious in that. And when she sees herself, like, they played that nice.
I'm old. I'm young. I'm old. I love the sequence where she's in the car, like, oh, I want to see my wedding dress. And we're going to get to see her. You know, tell me what kind of house I'm in.
And just then fucking Doc just, Doc, what the fuck are you doing, man?
That's enough of that right there.
Oh, shit. But, you know, I think that might be what it is, man. Both of those movies, all those movies have so much, I'll just say magic to them for younger viewers. But then as you get older, there's more things to appreciate as an adult. And then there's all these other things to talk about. Like, you know, it's kind of fucked up, right? And I think that's why they're just so rewatchable. I'm still
discovering stuff that I don't know about. Like, I probably know more about Back to the Future than most people.
Yeah.
And I'm still discovering stuff. You know, like somebody sent me one of those videos, like 10 facts you didn't know about Back to the Future. Yeah. And, you know, you kind of roll your eyes like, we're going to find. And I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know that. And I didn't know that, you know. And then the next time I go and watch it, I'll notice and I'll be like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah. And in 2015, when there was all that, every article in the world was about it, I learned all kinds of shit that I thought I knew that series pretty good. Not like you, but at least, you know, now there's a lot of shit I didn't know. I didn't know. How the hell did we get here from Predators?
I have no idea.
Right. So that's a really good example of a series of sequels that are excellent and a series of sequels that are fucking dog shit. There you go.
Very good. I like how you brought that back.
Like that. Yeah. Even Alien didn't have the stamina for 3 movies. And Marty McFly certainly did. And goddamn, man, let's just count our blessings that they never made a Back to the Future 4, like in the early aughts or something.
Yeah. I would say if you have a real hunger for that kind of thing, go play the video game. The Telltale video game is fantastic.
It's really good, huh? Yeah.
It's the last thing I ever want out of like a Back to the Future story.
I remember the cartoon, right? There was a cartoon when we were little, and I remember, like, the train was in it a lot and shit. And I remember, okay. Saturday mornings and stuff. I didn't like it very much.
The comic book is excellent too, and it is the anti-cartoon. So the thing that bugs me about the cartoon is that it's supposed to follow Back to the Future 3, right? Like, it takes place after Back to the Future 3. After Back to the Future 3 is the point where, you know, like in Back to the Future 3, Doc destroys the time machine. He's like, you know, this is irresponsible. We're not doing this anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And in the cartoon, it's like every 20 minutes, you know, like every new episode, we have a new reason to like go around and fuck around in time. Like, I think there's an episode where the kid shows like a passing interest in robots. This might have been one of the comics based on the cartoon. And he's like, "Oh, well, let's go to the year 3000 where robots have taken over the world." You know, like
it's like proto Rick and Morty. You know,
yeah,
because that's where that came from, right? So
yeah, exactly. Whereas in the comic books, the ones that are written by Bob Gale from 2015 on, like there's a real responsibility. Like I feel like it is the movie characters, because there's a part where Marty is trying to research what happened to his uncle Joey that got him thrown in jail. Like nobody wants to tell him about it, and it's pre-internet, so you can't just like go look it up. And Jennifer's like, "Oh my, if there were only a way that we could go back and find out what happened to Joey." And Marty's like, "No, we're not using time travel as like the answer to every single problem." You know,
this isn't Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Exactly.
Okay?
And I was like, yes, thank you. Finally, one of them says it. Like, you know, like I feel like we are continuing the movies in that sense, you know.
That's
and the video
funny.
game is very good about that too. You know,
that's funny. Yeah, that Bill and Ted is one of my other favorite time travel movies.
I love Bill and Ted.
And that one didn't fare too well with its sequels. The second one was okay. I watched it.
I love Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Bogus Journey
is
something weird. So very
I have actually seen Bogus Journey far more than I've seen the first one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Bogus Journey might have the scariest depiction of hell I've ever seen in a film. Second only to Hellraiser. Like, I think Hellraiser's probably as far as you can go with hell. But like right underneath of that is Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
The limbo part where you got to play death in different board games, that kind of freaked me out. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was hilarious just because, like, you know, not that I'm going to say it out loud, but I know exactly what movie or what game I'm going to challenge death to one day if I get the opportunity. But just this concept, if our viewers out there have not seen Bogus Journey, the depiction of hell is a series of rooms, each one intended to spike your anxiety even more. You know, like,
it's personalized. It's personalized hell, and each room is like a moment from your childhood psyche that's buried in there for a deep, dark reason. And like they're not, you know, they weren't molested as kids. This is just kind of everyday fucking awful childhood memories just blown up out of proportion. Yeah. And the grandmother one and the Easter Bunny one.
Yeah. I mean, for eternity.
The least terrifying one was the military school guy. He got off light on that one, but it still wasn't cool. Okay. It still wasn't cool. The hallways, very scary, very scary. Station, big butts, very scary.
Station,
very scary. Lots of robots. 3 sets of robots, I think.
I love that every rose has its thorn is the meaning of life, or was at least an acceptable answer to what is the meaning of life to get them into heaven.
It's amazing. There's so many good nuggies. I watched that one a lot for sure. Did you see the third one? The one that came out during COVID? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Moving on.
You don't go back to the well like that.
And there's another comedy time travel movie that I adore is Hot Tub Time Machine. The first one. Yeah. Second one, again, don't talk about it. Real bad.
I don't even remember the second one. It's possible I didn't see it.
You shouldn't. They couldn't even get Cusack back for that one. They had to replace him with Adam Scott for some reason.
What is he even doing?
Cusack? I don't know, man. I don't know that guy.
You know it's bad when like somebody who is just objectively barely famous anymore. It's just like
that was like the best thing he'd done in years, and they couldn't rope him into it. And I don't know. Ooh, that must have been great. It was awful. It was way worse than I expected. Like the whole
especially
thing.
in those kinds of things, like you have to imagine a movie like that is so much fun to make. Like, you know, if you told me like, oh yeah, all those people that you had such an awesome time with are going to come back, are you in? I'd be like, yeah, you know, like unless the movie was total dog shit, like I'd be like, yeah, it'd be great to hang out with them again, make a movie.
Exactly, and a very very basic first pitch idea. If they're like, hey, we're going to make a Hot Tub Time Machine sequel, you're like, oh well, I guess we're going to go back to the 70s, and they're going to see themselves as like little kids and, you know, interact with their parents like in Back to the Future, right? Yeah. And you're like, yeah, that'd probably be the right move. You would never say, no, let's set this entire movie in some weird proto-future that we invent that doesn't really make any sense, and we're only going to have 2 of the main characters be in this futuristic world, and the whole thing is going to take place there with fake iPhones and with a bunch of bullshit. No, it fucking was terrible. It's fucking terrible. And you never find out what happened in Cincinnati, motherfuckers. You have a shoebox in your closet and you wrote Cincinnati on it. All right. And see, that just brings us back to Terminator and time travel movies and bad sequels.
I mean,
I don't know.
I understand that these things are intellectual properties to them, and an intellectual property sitting on the shelf probably does nothing for Disney, you know, like, whereas I am like, no, to protect the legacy of this thing, keep it on the shelf. If you want to make money from it, you can still do that without making a new entry in said series. Like, you know, how many times have I bought the fucking Back to the Future movies, and I'm willing to keep doing it, you know, but even beyond that, there's toys, there's statues, there's merchandise, there's props, like, there's all kinds of things that you could sell me to make money off of it. But I get that Disney is saying, you know, I'm singling out Disney, but it's all of them. Like, you know, our best opportunity to take like a $500 million swing is to put out a brand new entry in the series where I'm like, fuck you, don't, you know. And
I will say this though, at least we have the option of not watching them.
Yeah, and I've done pretty well with that for the most part.
And I would also say I'd rather a stream of shitty sequels or subpar sequels than yet more and more remakes. And with those series that we've talked about, Alien and Predator, I don't think you could even, like, you can't remake those, because a remake is still, it'd have to be so different that you might as well just make it a sequel, you know, or an alternate timeline bullshit or something, like what they did with Halloween 3 times. Yeah, sure, 3 times.
Fucking Halloween.
That's the Halloween series, right. The Predator series.
Halloween 1 and 2 take place in the same timeline. Then 3 is something different. 4 and 5 theoretically take place in the same timeline as 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's like cohesive series.
As well as 6. I shouldn't have left out 6 there. 6 takes place in the same timeline as 4 and 5. But then Halloween H2O ignores 4, 5, and 6.
Right. It's a direct sequel to Halloween 2.
Resurrection, which comes after H2O, takes place in the same world as H2O 1 and 2.
So those 4 movies stand by themselves.
Yeah. Then you have the Rob Zombie movies that come after that. There are its own universe.
2 standalones. Yep.
Right. And then you have the new trilogy, which ignores part
everything
2 and on.
Except the original. Yes. Yeah. Everything except the original. So that's a whole nother set. So yeah, there's like 4 distinct timelines plus Halloween 3. And the naming conventions are
might have been 6. Great. I don't. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That and Predator, I think, have the worst naming conventions ever for a series. No one was. I mean, I get it, because
you tack like Halloween 12 onto the name of a movie, and people are like, "Well, I didn't see 1 through 11, so I'm not going to go."
Well, that's what
Whereas
Hellraiser
you just call
did.
It Halloween, and people are like, all right.
You know? That's what Hellraiser did, man. After what 3, they just said, fuck it, we're doing colons and subtitles, and it's just going to get it weirder and weirder. It's like Hellraiser, the restaurant. Like, what the fuck? All right, I'm into it.
Hell World, Hell Seeker, Deader, Revelation,
Deadites, Deader. Live free or die harder. So fucking bad, dude. It's like the trailers in front of Tropic Thunder. It's like Scorcher 7. Here we go again. I don't know. Fridge open.
I just can't accept that Cameron is gonna do another Terminator movie. I mean, to loop all the way back around to that, as long as we're talking about, stupid.
The only reason
why
okay, like I have not read any interviews with him or anything, but the only reason it could make sense to me is the whole AI thing now. I don't know
what's left to say about it.
I know, like I was right. We're all gonna die. I don't know. I don't know what the man could have to. I don't know what he could actually. Who knows what he has to say, because he has sequestered himself for what, 15 fucking years making blue people movies.
Yeah.
I would really like to know what Mr. Cameron has had to say all this time, because I'm a little mad at him, because he hasn't been around. There's a lot of shit's been going on, and movies have been getting kind of weird, and it would have been nice to have Jim Cameron still making fucking movies.
I don't know. It's unfair to say that he hasn't been making movies, because like those two movies that he made are like some of the biggest, box office home runs of all time. But like,
I know.
I don't know. At this point, I think I might have said this when we talked about Terminator 2. The scariest thing they could possibly have to say about AI is it's going to take your job. Like, nobody is terrified of AI as something that's going to rise up and kill us all anymore. And what are you going to say about is Terminator? Is Schwarzenegger? This will be the prequel to the last Terminator movie, the Dark Fate thing, where we find out that Carl gets his job in the drapery business and kicks out somebody that was working there for 20 years and was close to getting his pension or whatever. I'm not fucking calling you that.
Carl with a K. It's Carl. Oh my God. The problem is that if AI destroys us, it would be far more banal than Cyberdyne or Terminators. It would be like it fucked something up very basic and caused a meltdown at a power plant, and now half the world is radioactive. Oh
yeah, I hadn't thought about like an
like
accident.
That.
Yeah, but
yeah, it would be something real fucking stupid and boring like that. Did you see Don't Look Up?
No,
with Jennifer Lawrence and Matt Damon. It's about, I guess you would call it a dark comedy about these astronomers see a meteor headed toward Earth, like a planet killer meteor. And they calculate the trajectory, and I think, I forget, I think it's like 9 months they have until it hits the planet, and it's this gut-wrenching progression of them trying to get people to first listen to them, and then believe them, and then how people react to it. And I'll tell you, it's not the way they reacted to it in Deep Impact or Armageddon. It's way more realistic, which is why I don't think a lot of people liked it, because it's spot on how people would react, and it's not good for humanity.
Yeah. When I was younger, I couldn't really wrap my head around Krypton exploding, because a lot of the depictions of Superman would tell you that like Jor-El kind of figures out that the planet is going to explode. He tries to tell people, tries to make like some kind of a plan to save the race. And they're all kind of like, meh, bureaucracy. No,
right.
no.
Yeah, the implications
you're
are always
crazy.
that politically it's not cool to say the planet's going to blow up.
Yeah.
So no one buys it.
And now I get it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. If the planet was going to explode and somebody figured it out, there would be a whole bunch of like, I don't believe it.
When Superman was created, I think that was a lot of the ways that the dictatorships of the time worked. And if you ever see that Chernobyl miniseries that HBO did, there's a lot of Krypton logic going on in that about the meltdown. And dude, it's and we've seen it with crises and all, and especially in this day and age with social media and the way everything works. Don't Look Up is frighteningly on target. And dude, you really should see it. I think it was a Netflix original. It should still be on there. And it's tremendous acting. Like I guess I didn't have an opinion one way or the other about Jennifer Lawrence. I just didn't really care. I really liked her in that, and after that, I've thought, I'm like, man, she actually is pretty fucking all right. She's solid. She's way better than I didn't watch The Hunger Games. I was too old for that shit.
I really genuinely can't think of any Jennifer Lawrence movies that I disliked, like really disliked. Like, Winter's Bone was fantastic. Silver Linings Playbook, fantastic. I don't remember the name of that movie where she plays it was like a recent comedy where she's got to like
the naked beach fight.
The kid. Yes.
That was fantastic.
How fucking hilarious was
that whole movie, and not just that scene, but that whole movie was fucking hilarious. Like, I turned it on, my wife's like, well, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. And she gets naked, and she's like, all right, we'll see. And it was fun. The whole movie was great.
The Hunger Games movies were all right. The books are better, but that's just going to be the case no matter what. I mean,
I have seen them. I have seen them. We did watch them once, but, way after they came out.
Yeah.
I even like that movie she did, Mother.
I love Mother.
Holy shit, you and me are the only ones. We're the only ones, Vin.
I think the problem is that, like, by the time people realize, like, what they're getting at, it's a little too late. Like, you've already scratched your head, like, what the fuck am I watching, like, for the past hour and a half? But I guess I caught on, like, pretty quickly. I was really glad that didn't get spoiled for me, like what that was about.
I went into it cold too, yeah.
Yeah, I caught on relatively quickly, and I was like, okay, I'm game for this, Yeah.
I felt like I caught on at exactly the right time, in the narrative. And once you figure out what the metaphors are, it's really good. It's universally fucking hated. I was amazed that even now I'm like, surely I'll go check on this, and people have watched it and now they understand it, and I'm like, oh no, people still hate this one. Holy shit. All right. You can get it for like $6 on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I love Darren Aronofsky. He did Requiem for a Dream and The Wrestler,
Wrestler was awesome. Requiem for a Dream was damaging, but also great. But
awesome in a very different way. Yeah.
Now he's got a very interesting career. That we should do something on him one day. That could be fun.
I'd love to. Yeah.
That could be fun. Yeah, man. Right on. All right. So I'm in a better mood than I was when we first started talking about Predator Badlands.
Talking about movies will do that.
Yeah. I guess so. There's more coming down the pike, though. There's Alien
Predator
with both of them. Yeah, there's going to be an Alien Earth season 2. There's all kinds of rumors going around about what the next Alien movie is going to be, and there's definitely another Predator. They're talking about a Predator movie that's supposedly going to be set during World War I. I don't know.
I genuinely don't understand why they keep doing this.
Yeah, I don't get it.
You just said that, I was like, that's the same fucking movie as the Native American thing.
Yeah.
Which is the same fucking movie as like the original Predator, which is the same fucking movie as 2. It is drastically under technology person defeats drastically over technology alien. I'm
going to throw one more last thing out there about Predator, and I think this is one of the very reasons why they've shifted to making the alien the protagonist. There are no action stars today. There are no action stars with the gravity of the action stars, even of Danny Glover in Predator 2. We don't have that today. We've got the closest thing we've got is fucking like what, Jai Courtney and and that dude from Avatar who stopped making movies, and who else, man? Who are the action guys that we lean on today? The fossil of Tom Cruise. Yeah,
Tom Cruise for sure.
Chris Pratt and the note that he has that he can act with. I don't know. I can't stand him anymore, dude.
I mean, it's probably it's probably the Marvel people in general. I'm not going to say that they're big action stars, but like, if we were going to make an action movie, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a Chris Hemsworth or a Chris Pratt.
Hemsworth, and I mean, he did those. He dipped into that world, like he did. What the fuck were they called? He did 2 like operator action movies, like modern military movies. I forget what the fuck they were
I don't
called.
know.
I should remember.
I mean, John Cena's been doing it.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, man! I like him in comedies, but that's what I'm saying. An ex-wrestler, the fucking Rock is, you can't even say
Johnson.
He's ancient.
I mean, they all are. That's the problem, because like you said, like we haven't birthed like a new star like that in a long time.
And that's what I mean. You couldn't assemble a Predator cast. They've tried it several times, and it has sucked because there is no one to pull from. Adrian fucking Brody they got to lead it on in one. Come on, man. The actors it's not the same Hollywood, and the amount you have to change the whole structure of the story just makes it something completely different, and I just don't care. It's just another comic book movie without a real comic book that's just being made by a studio. It's boring to me. I mean, if kids like it, rock and roll, man. Maybe it'll make them watch the old one at least once.
Yeah.
That's my positive look on it, and I can I can always rewatch Aliens. And hey, have you ever seen the documentary about Aliens, the second one specifically? Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
While you look for that, I'm gonna tell you like the bonus counterpoint to what you're saying, and you mentioned it there. Like maybe it'll get younger people to watch it. When Ghostbusters 2016 came out, like Answer the Call. Yeah. Which, regardless of whether you love it or hate it, the beauty of that movie is that the promotion for that and the promotion for Ghostbusters Afterlife involved Sony pulling out a lot of vintage shit to put into modern formats to sell for marketing purposes that I really appreciated. Like, we got the animated series on DVD and digital. They did about half of it in the run-up to Answer the Call, and then they took a large break, and then we got like Extreme Ghostbusters and all of that, like leading up to like Afterlife. And I was like, even if these movies wind up being awful,
it's worth
the fact
it for that.
that just that, like, because I can ignore any like crappy movie that I want, but just getting those older things in a modern format that I can finally like stick in my like digital library or on my shelf, because like DVDs didn't exist for half of this stuff. Right, like they were pulling out the old comic books and selling them in Kindle format, and I was like, yes, thank you.
And not to mention all the memorabilia, like for collectors and stuff that came around when the Ghostbusters movie started getting made again. Like that was huge. I just saw, just in passing, the proton packs and all the shit that came out. Like, wow, man, it would have been amazing when I was 12 or 8, whatever. That kind of happened with Rocky a little bit too. I mean, obviously it's not the same kind of thing, but when Rocky Balboa came out, a lot of that older stuff came out and got reissued and got talked about again. And that was really cool. Like, and it
happened when the Creed movies came out. They
100%
fixed the problems with the Blu-ray set, and then they fixed those problems. They never want to give you a definitive Rocky collection. I think the one we have now is finally pretty close. But
pretty close now that people
about as close as I'm going to need it to be.
Yeah,
yes, as long as you have the replacement discs. Yes,
and that was fortunate because Rocky Balboa and Creed were good. They didn't suck, which was nice little bonus. The documentary came out last year. It's called Aliens Expanded.
Okay,
and it truly just is a really long documentary about aliens. The whole movie. It's 4 hours long. So it's like, it's everything. It's everything. And it's not like some hokey, like they slapped together, old interviews and shit. They interviewed everybody fresh, including Cameron, I think. And they got Bean, they got Sigourney, they got everybody. Everybody's talking about it. I think they got Lance. Yeah, Lance is in there. And it's just a lot of cool tidbits, a lot of little bits of trivia that it's better than reading it. Hearing the actors tell the little stories, much better than reading it, and a lot of cool stories about Bill Paxton. Kind of sad, of course, but really neat, and a lot of cool photos, like behind the scene photos and shit. They showed you and stuff about the props, like 4 hours they get into it, and like I just movie nerded out super hard. I watched it in like three sittings, but it was really fun. And like that I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. The movies I grew up with, learning all that about them, it's great. And just learning about and they were remembering scenes that they filmed that we've never seen, that didn't survive. And then you got they got what's his name who played Burke from what the fuck, Paul Reiser. And he was a trip, man. Him talking, he's like, I have no idea how I ended up in this fucking movie. Like, I have no what I was doing there. I have no idea, but it worked for the character, so I guess Cameron knew what the hell he was doing. and just a lot of cool stories. And Cameron was a true fucking psycho. And because he gets into it about all the trouble he had, because they filmed that in England, and apparently at the time the British just movie making tempo was not what America's was, and like they would just stop and all line up and go get tea all at the same time and wouldn't film for an hour. And Cameron lost his fucking mind. Just like he's talking about, he like flipped over the tea lady's cart. He went over, he asked her how much it would cost to buy everything she had, gave her a bunch of money, and then like flipped the card over and like screamed at everyone. They're like, you send somebody to get fucking tea and bring it to the set. We do not stop working. I'm like, damn, he must have been a lunatic. Like I've heard horror stories from like apparently nobody that was in the abyss other than Michael Biehn would talk to him again. Like apparently that was like a horrific set, and just because of the conditions everyone was in, and Ed Harris almost drowned like 3 times, and same with Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, and they had to go through all this shit, and apparently he was like in prime psycho mode during the whole thing. That's another interesting behind the scenes story. But yeah, man, Aliens Expanded, it's on AMC Plus if you have access to that, but I'm sure it's
I don't, but
in other
I'm sure
places.
I can find a way to get it.
I'm sure. Yeah, man. All right. I guess we'll leave it on a happy note. Aliens.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Big gulps, man.